Continuing my look at some LEGO Ninja Turtles released back in the day, here is the Shredder Dragon Bike, which released in 2013 and was the only way that you could get a Shredder from the cartoon at the time. I am surprised to see such an integral character available rather easily actually, and exclusive as well. This is definitely the figure that you would expect to find only in, say, the lair. The set overview here is Shredder's bike and also Donatello on a longboard. A Foot Clan ninja is extra. The set retailed for $50 back in 2013. The price has since then doubled for sealed condition. Like the last review, we'll be taking a look at the turtle vehicle first because it's not the main focus of the set here. LEGO described this as a motorized skateboard, which doesn't actually mean that it is motorized, more that there is a LEGO brick build of a motor included, so in universe it sounds really cool, but in practice it's just a skateboard. It is neat though, but if you saw my Baxter Stockman review, you may be forgiven for thinking that this is just a retread. Different builds, but the exact same idea going for both of them. There are no distinguishable features for the skateboard included, but it's included in the scene so that Donatello has something to do. This is the big build itself. I originally struggled to find one secondhand, but nowadays this is actually the only set that is regularly available in the NZ aftermarket at the same price for retail as well. I don't really have too much to say about this bike. It's not very interactive. I was only interested in the figures that were provided really. The bike has some flick fire missiles at the front. There's some parts that are supposed to represent a dragon design from the bike, but I personally don't see it. Maybe it looks like a snake. I like a lot of the shaping that's involved, like the chair that has its own little adjustments made if you wanted maybe a different character to be seated, some sticker designs for the flags on the side here as well. The build is based on the dragon bikes that the Foot Clan use for transport. I haven't seen much of the show myself, so it's entirely possible that Shredder does drive one eventually, but to label this as Shredder's bike is funny to me because there seems to be a lot more reference material out there that suggests it's actually belonging to the foot soldiers rather than Shredder. But it's a good way to get the set to sell if you just throw Shredder in. And speaking of, here he is, the main antagonist to both the Turtles and Master Splinter. I mentioned that he was exclusive in the set. Eventually he did have a remake of the cartoon design in the next wave, and he also had a movie adaptation as well. This one uses those great Prince of Persia claw pieces that I used to use for my Wolverine customs when I was a kid. I really like his armored look, but this is something that the movie figure would do better. Under his helmet he has a really nice useful scarred face, but no alternative expression, and only the torso printing on the front. He's nice, but of the two Shredders that I have, he is the weakest one. This Donatello is one of my favorites because it was the first Donatello figure that I had the privilege to add to my collection. I chased this one for years and finally I was able to get him. His frown expression made him exclusive to this set, so if you wanted a mix of expressions for the Turtles, this does help make all of those sets worth getting. The Ninja Turtle brothers all use this really nice new head mold and turtle shell. Donatello and Leonardo use a different one from Raph and Michelangelo. I like having closed mouth and open mouth expressions for the Turtles. The characters are far too expressive to delegate them to just simply one expression, in my opinion. This is a foot soldier. The Foot Clan are Shredder's loyal followers, and these figures appear a bunch of times throughout the sets. Sometimes there's variety between them, but most of the figures look like this, released in 6 sets in total. LEGO are no strangers when it comes to making ninja minifigures, and he looks nice and all, but I think the large amount of them with very little variety kind of bogs down the design. Battle damage variants would have been a much needed addition to this line. The set also includes a map here, which is the object that Donatello is trying to take from Shredder. This was probably the quickest review that I've released on this channel, but there's really not a whole lot going on about this. I like it for including Shredder, but I wish he was released in something that was a bit more substantial. Eventually I would get my wish with a Wave 2, but that's actually the only set from the entire line that I don't have. If you enjoyed this retrospective look at a LEGO Ninja Turtles set, liking and subscribing does help keep you up to date for when the next review comes out. Ka kite anō, thank you very much.